Now, next in line, students, are the communication services that are very, very important for any kind of business, because whenever the business is there, it never works in isolation. It has to be in continuous touch with its outside world. With outside world, we mean its suppliers, its customers, its competitors, the business unit, the other business organizations. Even inside the business, there are several departments that need to remain connected all the time, for which communication services are the must. So communication services removes the hindrance of information, very, very important. And under this, we have in NCERT, students, the postal services, first of all, which you can remember as either MF or FM, and it represents the two kinds, that is financial services by the post offices and mail services. So you can remember as finance manager, FM, or financial management, or simply finance and mail services that come under postal department. Now in NCERT, clearly it has been explained, though it is now quite redundant to see all these things in the, nobody is going to the post offices these days for letter posting and all, because that is well easy to do in the electronic, using the electronic media. But here some financial services are also provided by the post offices, which you must go through, where they have the provision for PPF, Public Provident Fund, and Kisan Vikas Patra, KVP, PPF, KVP, Kisan Vikas Patra, and National Saving Certificates, NSC. These are important financial schemes or income schemes that can channelize the savings of the general public in through these Department of Post. The other kind of important services are mail services, which are provided, and under the mail services there are different subcategories, where there can be the greeting post, which is done mainly during the occasions, but these are all, to be very frank students, these are very redundant services nowadays. Media posts are also sent in envelopes or postcards, but nobody is using them, because we have animated and 3D and 4D, and we can use all these types through the mobile phones as well these days. So direct post services are also there. Then international money transfers, this is also there, using Western Union Financial Services also. The money transfers are done, but in the era of UPI, this has also become redundant. Then passport facilities are also provided, but nowadays, as you all know, that passport offices has now been under control of TCS. The Tata consultancy firms are managing the passport facilities. So no more the involvement of post is there in today's world. But speed post, this is still a major kind of service provided by the post offices. Because of its high speed, we can expect the transfers and some authentic documents where it has to go through a valid proper channel. The registered post and speed post are used especially in government departments in many ways. Even when you apply for a course, or when you apply to a college also, these methods are still in function by the post offices. And another latest offering is e-bill post, students. Seeing the electronic media, the postal department has also come up with e-bill services, where it can collect bill for the payments through to the different sites of BSNL and Airtel at their counters. But nowadays, again, nobody is going to the counter, rather they are preferring the online modes of communication and online payment methods. Now, next in line under communication services are the telecom services as given in the book, which can easily be remembered as FD, VMC, FD fixed deposit, VMC Vidya Mandir classes, and something like this you can relate. So FD, VMC, where F stands for fixed line communication, again a redundant method these days. Then D is DTH, which is still in use. Then we have VMC, V for VSAT, M is for mobile services, most popular today, and C is the cable services. Again, not that much in use. So let us see quickly from the NCERT students that what these points have to say. So first of all, in fixed line services, as we know, the old types of telephones which used to run in through the landline, we call them as landlines, where there are fixed cables going to the port, and LAN cables are there. So that is still in use somewhere, but generally we are avoiding this type of communication and using the cellular mobile services. So FD is DTH, direct to home. You must remember the full form. It's a satellite based service that provides the TV viewing at home using different channels. You have now own antenna placed on the rooftop, and from there the connections are obtained from the satellite, and the picturization is done for the various channels. You can see the broadcast. So this is still in use, DTH. Just remember the full form as direct to home services, DTH, direct to home. Then we have next in line as VMC. V is for VSAT services. The full form may come, students, very small aperture terminal. Very small aperture terminal. It's again a satellite based communication, and definitely it offers the businesses and government agencies a highly flexible and reliable communication solution. So nowadays mobile has taken up everything, students. So where it's a highly portable device, a small device which includes everything like voice and non-voice messages, the data services, the PCO services and networking equipments. Everything is right in your hands, and you can easily access the net as well. You can use various apps to go through different kinds of e-materials that are available. So mobile services are highly in use. And the last one you can remember as cable services. Again, this is a redundant method. Earlier there used to be some cable operators, but nowadays we have completely avoided with them, and there are linkages within a licensed area of operation to operate media services. So they used to give us the cable network through their own centralized big the cable connections which they used to run from a centralized place, and they then used to distribute the connections, and we used to call them the cable operators who were sitting with their big antennas at their place and providing us the services of channels. But now every household has this DTH, direct to home service, where they have their own mini antenna to telecast, get the broadcast of the channels. So this is again a redundant method, but still, as it's there in NCERT, just remember them as FD, VMC, the 5 methods of telecom services. Next in line is transportation service, students, which is again very, very important for any kind of business, because transportation directly removes the hindrance of, we can say, the place, because the goods are to be transported from one place to another, from the point of production to the point of sale, and there can be some huge gaps between them. So the various methods are used. Whenever we talk of transport, we definitely talk of air transport, the water transport using the seaways, and rail transport, of course, using the wide network of railways in our country. So definitely we have got these three methods as the transport, and it removes the hindrance of, as you can say, from NCERT, it's clearly mentioned, removing the hindrance of place. It makes goods available to the consumer from the place of production. And this system is very, very effective and efficient in functioning, so that the producers can bring their produce to the place where they can get sold. And the last but never the least is the warehousing services, which removes the hindrance of time, because with warehousing we mean storage. Now there is a gap between the demand and supply of the products. So supply may take early, and then they have to get stored, and finally till the point they are being sold. So before that there has to be some very good storage methods in order to pile up all the stock that has been produced by the manufacturers before they are actually sold. So here they have different types of warehouses which you must go through. Just read it because it's there in your NCERT. So you can remember it as well as PPBCG, PPBCG. PP is private and public warehouse, BCG bonded warehouse, then cooperative warehouses, and government warehouse. So again, we'll not go into much detail of this, students. There is a brief summary of all these types of warehouses given on this slide. Briefly, if I can tell you something, then it will be like private are definitely run by some private companies, the retail chain stores or private companies, multi-brand, multi-product companies. Then public warehouses, they are usually owned by the government. The government regulates the operation of these warehouses by issuing license to the private parties, but ultimately they are under the control of the government. The owner of the warehouse stands as the agent to the government, and he is the owner itself. And then finally it is managed by government, because government gives license to the private players. Then BCG, bonded warehouse, is one of the important warehouse, students, where the EXIM products, it's used in EXIM procedures, export import procedures, where the imported products are kept in these warehouses if they are not been given the payment for duties. If payment for duties and customs are still not clear for that products, then they are definitely put in the warehouses prior to the payment of taxes and custom duties, because the importer can only remove these goods from the docks on the airport once he or she clears all kinds of customs and payments. So before that, this warehouse comes into play for storage of the imported products. And C and G. So we have C. With C we mean cooperative warehouses, where they are run by the cooperative societies, as we have seen in the previous chapter, which are under the control of Cooperative Societies Act. And then government warehouses, again, they are fully owned by the government. In the public warehouse, students, ultimately it was the government who was managing the warehouses, but ownership was with the private player because they got the license from the government. And now the last topic being, students, the functions of warehouses, which is very, very important. And you can remember as FB, PP, VC. FB, Facebook, PP, and VC, video calling, voice calling, you can remember like this. So F is for financing function, B is breaking the bulk, P is stockpiling and price stabilization, and VC is value added services and consolidation function. So now let us see from NCERT that what these points have to say. NCERT is your base book, students, so you must remember them very clearly, each point from this book. So now the first function being F. F stands for financing part, where they lend finance. See, warehouses are in between. They are sometimes the wholesalers as well. They are only performing the function of warehousing. So they are in middle of the manufacturers and the retailers, who are ultimately the suppliers to the consumers. So they give advance to manufacturers, and sometimes they also lend credit facilities to these retailers in order to expedite the process of production and sale. So they are the key link between them and perform the function of financing. Now with B, it refers, students, to the breaking of bulk, and this point you can easily remember, breaking the bulk. This is B, where bulk means the entire lot of goods that is coming to their plant in the warehouse, and they are breaking that as per the needs and requirements of the customers who are sitting at different geographical locations in order to meet their individual requirements. So this is the important function of breaking the bulk, that is according to the requirements of clients to their places of business, they are supplying the goods. Then we have P and P, where one P represents the stockpiling feature. Piling means ikatha karna. So they keep on collecting all the goods and services, basically the goods that are to be stored in the warehouses, and as per the demands, when the customer's demand gets higher, they release the goods slowly in the main season, and during the off season they go for seasonal storage of the goods in order to ensure that there is no time lag between the demand and supply. So stockpiling feature is important. For this, they need to be very careful because the stocks may get, sometimes they may get stolen, they may get burnt, or they may get eaten by the rodents and pests. So they have to be very careful in storage, performing the storage function. This is the main function of any of the warehouse. Then we have another P for price stabilization function. This is also well ensured by the warehouses, because warehouses are the ones who keep hold of the stock of the goods. So whenever the demands are more and the supply is limited, you know very well, students, according to the law of demand and supply, that if demand gets up and supply is limited, the prices definitely shoots up. So in case the supply is less or limited and the demand for goods is more, definitely the price gets up, keeping all other variables as constant. And it's vice versa as well. If the supply is more and demand is less, then the price gets down. So this function of stabilizing the price is well performed by the warehouses, because warehouses are the controllers of the supply of the commodity, and according to the demand they adjust the price according to the demand and supply graphs. so that equilibrium can be maintained. Then V is for value added services, students. Here we mean that they provide some extra services like that of transit mixing, sometimes mixing according to the requirements of different set of products by different customers. Then packaging and labeling, this kind of services are also provided by such warehouses in order to ease the burden of the manufacturers. And the last function being consolidation, it is just opposite to the breaking the bulk function. Here the bulk was broken into different pieces according to the requirements, and now the different plants products are getting consolidated at one place in order to supply the bulk to the particular segment. This function of consolidation, the receipt and then piling all the stocks from different production plants and then dispatching to a particular customer, this type of shipment is also undertaken by the warehouses under their function called consolidation. So I hope the functions of warehousing are very clear. You can just remember them as FB, PP, VC. There are 6 functions. Thank you.